Okay, guys, today I'm going to talk about how to tell when you're fatigued and you should have stayed at home. Okay, this is pretty easy. For my body, how I tell if I was supposed to stay home or not is pretty easy. So basically, when I first get to the gym, I always start my workouts with traps. So I'll go to the Smith machine and I'll start with the 45-pound plate on each side. Okay, I do traps every day other than on leg days. Okay, so I go to the Smith machine and I obviously start with the 45-pound plate on each side. Usually, when I take the 45-pound plate off the rack, I could literally take it off the rack on the bottom rack, almost like flinging it out, like literally almost just pulling it out, like very easily, like very, very easily. Now, the days that I'm tired or my central nervous system is shot, like usually after a heavy leg day, that 45 pounds will no longer come off the rack that easily. Okay, now that 45 pounds feels like it's 80 pounds. So that's how I know. That's what works for me and how I know if I'm too fatigued. And that tells me that, okay, this session that I'm going to be doing right now, I need to do a lighter session because clearly yesterday's session obviously is affecting me today. And you could really feel that, if you pick up, maybe even if you go bench press and now you're benching and you start with a plate on each side, 135, and now usually, you get easily 14, 15, 16 reps. Now, here you're doing your 6th to 8th rep and you're already feeling like, Jesus, like this is harder. You got to push extra just to get that 14 to 16 reps. When you notice stuff like that, or even if let's say you go there and you're having an arm day, and let's say now you're starting with biceps and you go up to the weight rack and you grab a 20-pound dumbbell. Now that 20-pound dumbbell all of a sudden feels like it's 30 pounds and it feels heavy. That's also a good sign right there. That doesn't mean you need to go home. You could do other things there. If that happens, basically to me, I either do abs and calves, or I'll do a little bit of forearms. I might do a light chest day, on the Smith machine. Normally if I get up to 3 plates aside, I'll literally just do a plate aside and I'll do 3-4 sets of that. Or sometimes what I'll do is I'll go there and I'll do chest, but I'll only do 3 sets per machine and not really doing the progressive overload. I'm sort of just keeping the weight same, nice light weight where it's really, really easy for me. And that's what I do. Because if your central nervous system is shot and you're tired and you need rest, like you need to rest, okay? And you can't be exerting yourself when you feel like that because you're just going backwards. You're basically just spinning your wheels. You're not getting any progress because you're just keep being tired. You keep being tired. The body needs rest. So the best solution for that is do something easy, do something light that's not gonna take a lot of energy. That's not gonna take a lot to perform that, right? So something like abs, calves, maybe traps, forearms, just easy stuff like that, or cardio, whatnot, whatever. But the best solution for that is just to lighten up on the workouts or totally do something else. But you have to be able to identify that when you go there and you lift something and it's heavier than normal, and the previous day you had a heavy leg day, that should be your cue right there to basically sort of back off and do a little bit of a lighter day, maybe a little bit of a shorter workout, maybe less sets, something to sort of, make it a little bit easier there for that day, and make sure after that, you still eat the same amount of food as if, you went to the gym and you went hard. Keep this food the same. That's it for now, guys. If you can like, comment, and subscribe, I'm trying to get to 100 subs. I will have more videos coming up on beginner stuff. Stuff that, basic general knowledge on beginner stuff. I feel like I have a lot of knowledge I could give you guys. And if any of this information I told you, helped you or gave you an insight on anything, like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate you guys watching. See you guys for now, and see you on the next one. Goodbye.